like I promised you earlier on, right now in studio joining me is Catherine Masitsa, the queen of weddings media. And also we have Q Fashions with us in studio. We have a beautiful gown. Maybe let's just get a shot of that number right there. So as you may know, the weddings fair is happening this weekend. Actually, it's kicked off. It's happening today right now as we speak. So she's going to be telling us what you can expect if you're planning a wedding, if you know somebody who's planning a wedding, why you need to prioritize visiting the wedding fair so that you can get to plan your dream wedding.
I should stand next to the. I should stand next to the. See,
maybe you need to go down on your knees. Actually, Tim has dressed like a groom.
I'm dressed up like a groom. The only thing that's missing is
the tux and the bride.
Yeah, the
Please,
only thing
can you propose to that girl?
She needs to have a hair first.
Right. So Catherine and Angela, good morning.
Morning.
Rachel, sorry, my
Rachel,
apologies.
yes.
Rachel, tell me, you're the one behind that number?
Yes. Number.
You
Sorry.
do-
That dress.
Yes.
You deal in wedding dresses, right?
Yes, I deal in wedding dresses.
How long have you been doing this?
I think I'm the latest on the market,
Yeah?
newest, the
Yeah.
baby.
And
It's
what-
only been on the market for less than 6 months.
Okay. And what sort of demands do you get in regards to wedding dresses?
A lot of people are looking for ball gowns and mermaids. They are looking for white gowns especially, but I'm trying to bring a new idea of colored gowns.
Colored gowns.
Great.
Yes.
And Catherine's, I'm sure a lot of people watching right now, they know that face. They have seen your face somewhere. And like I kept saying earlier, you're the queen of weddings media. You have a weddings magazine, you have wedding TV shows, you have wedding events. So tell us about the fair that is happening right now.
So the fair that is happening now is the 15th year for Samantha's Bridal. For anybody who is planning a wedding this season, I know August is usually typically the biggest wedding month, but because of elections, people have scaled down. So there's a lot of weddings that are being pushed September, October, November, December. So that means if your wedding is falling that time, you want to come and see what is latest.
So you plan early.
Yeah, you plan early. And the thing is, even if the proposal just happened in February or it's just happened, it's very important that you can actually come and check what weddings cost, even if your wedding is next year.
Right.
Because it's better to shop as an informed consumer. And anybody else who is coming, the other group I also want to speak to are especially young people who are looking for something to do, especially the creative types. They should come to the Expo because the wedding industry employs a lot of young people. If you're in entertainment, fashion, you want to be a wedding planner, to just come and see. Keep an open mind, come and see if you want to get into the industry. Okay. So these are the people.
So where is the venue for the fair?
At the Sarit Center, at the exhibition hall, where you can come the whole day. There's entertainment, there's fashion, there's decor, there's everything. It's a wedding wonderland.
And what are the charges?
700 shillings.
Okay.
Speaking of charges, let me just interrupt that. You being the queen of weddings.
Media.
Queen of wedding media.
Yes.
At the fair, are you going to have, we've been talking finances. Yeah, and most people, when it comes to wedding, well, they want this fairy tale wedding, but they also don't know how much it's going to cost them. Do you have people advising would-be couples on how much they need to put aside in regards to their weddings?
Yes, we do. We normally have talks sometimes, but this time we have a lot of wedding planners. Now, you should also know that we train. We have a school where we train wedding planners. Now, one of the biggest, one of the units that we teach is finances, which is about the finances in terms of running a business, but also coming up with a wedding budget, which a lot of people, many people call, and even today I'm sure somebody will call, how much does a wedding cost? Right. So these planners are really equipped to tell you in terms of whatever kind of a wedding you're looking for. It's not an accountant who will advise you, but a wedding planner is the one who will actually tell you for this kind of a wedding, and they'll ask you a couple of questions, and after that they can roughly tell you around how much you actually are likely to spend on your wedding.
Okay.
Yes.
And looking at how much people spend on weddings, because I think 2 days ago there was a very lavish, spectacular wedding that happened last year, and now the man was in the news for all the wrong reasons. So what can you advise young people when it comes to pressures of planning a wedding? Because, you know, everybody wants that dream fantasy wedding, but it costs, Catherine.
Yeah, it does cost, and I think people just need to be reasonable. That yes, if you have the money and you want to plan a wedding, you plan, and it takes time. Couples are taking between 16 to 18 months to save up.
Would you advise to take a loan to plan a wedding?
Well, if you know how to repay it, but it's not something I would really advise. I would advise that you start saving towards a wedding. And most of the weddings that are happening, by the way, people are saving towards them. I wouldn't advise you sell land, you sell a body part, there's somebody was selling a kidney, or even, I don't even advise for loans, but you can actually save towards it. Yes. And you know what? There's something else that is so beautiful about Kenya. I know people really look down upon it, but you know, we like to live in communities. There's the Harambee spirit, and a lot of young people are together in groups, and you know, we contribute towards your wedding next time.
Tomorrow
yes, the wedding committees.
I'm still going to talk about, and I'm sorry I cut you short on that. You were speaking about wedding committees, and I want to throw the question to Rachel, who has this interesting dress over here. Rachel, the question on my mind is, do you hire your wedding gowns?
Yes, I do.
You do. You do. So you've got that facility for that.
Yes.
Now let me throw it back to Kathy on this. Catherine, yes. Catherine, tell me, a long time ago, people were not hiring their wedding gowns, but now it's becoming normal to hire wedding gowns. How does that affect my finances in regards to planning my wedding?
Well, it actually depends. Actually, long before, just to correct you, yes, there was a lot of renting that went on.
Really?
Because the supply of these wedding gowns were just not there. Now the market has opened. Alibaba has opened.
Oh, good.
And
yes.
in fact, what Rachel does is she doesn't stock. Like, you come and you find the full stock there. You come, you show her what you want, and then she can bring for you. And yeah, directly from the suppliers from China, isn't it? And this has really brought down the prices. But you can spend from anywhere up to the high heavens what you would like. But yes, there are very many rental companies. There's so many brides that they spend like 200,000 on a wedding dress, and then they wake up, it was one day, and they're like, what am I going to do with this thing? Yeah?
So it's a revenue opportunity,
yes,
because there's somebody who perhaps wants to wear the same dress, but they can't afford it.
Yes.
Then just lease it out to them for their day. They dry clean it and they return it back.
But I have to mention, fashions change so fast. They are changing so fast. My wedding was 14 years ago. I still fit in my wedding dress.
Oh, wow.
But I doubt any bride wants to rent that dress.
Because it's a bit dated, is that it?
Yeah, it's a bit dated, but in terms of the design and the style. But by then, it really looked nice. So because of the millennials, they're so... the social media, everything, you basically, if there's a New York Fashion Week happening, you get to see what are the latest trends, and people, the generation is clued on what is trending.
And so, speaking of trends, because we have a wedding dress with us in studio right here, and this is from Rachel's Q collection. Now, looking at this, is this one of the trends that is popular right now?
Yes, actually, one of the trends that are popular is, you know, the frilly hands.
Right.
The hands that are free, the illusion back.
So it's a sleeveless wedding dress?
Yeah, and you can attach the, look at the sleeves.
Okay.
You know, the bohemian-like sleeves, you know, the way they are, yeah, and they're sheer. That is a big trend. The back, a lot of brides right now want to wear in fact, this one at least is more for a conservative bride.
Yes.
Who wants something that is... Yes, it's a very conservative
Tim
bride.
seems to disagree.
I'm just getting surprised because it's got a whole, fabric. What do you call it? What do you call it? It's a
it looks
tail
like
or
a
something?
princess dress.
It's a trail or a tail?
Trail.
A trail. Now, when I see this, or rather, for someone who's watching this and they want this dress, I'm assuming they have seen it, they've picked it up from Alibaba. Let's talk about the question of sizes. You and I know that Alibaba is a Chinese company, a very successful company, and deals with this and much more. My size 8 may not be size 8 to China. You've lived in Kenya, now you know our sizes. Are you able to advise the Kenyan bride and the groom on the sizes that they see there? Because I could pick something from Alibaba, the website, and then it doesn't fit me. When it gets here, it's something totally different. Are you able to adjust those sizes, or are you able to advise on the sizes?
What I do normally is I take their measurement, their own measurement. So when it comes, I've done a mermaid dress. So if you know, like this is a ball gown. It needs bust and waist measurement. But for a mermaid dress, it needs much more detailed measurements. So I take measure myself and send it to the factory so that it comes perfectly fitting the bride.
Okay.
But though, Tim, on that I need to mention something.
Please.
That, you know, she's dealing directly with the designers, with the bridal houses, and takes into account the African body. Now, there's been in fact, the biggest, the biggest disaster right now on the market is brides actually ordering dresses online.
Yes.
And the dresses come, if you talk to any designer or any tailor, they're having to adjust wedding dresses, and the brides are ending up to pay so much more in terms of the dress arrives and it's not the size that you wanted. Yeah, there are a few successes, but there's so many disasters. So people are ending up paying like triple, or this is why a couple of very well-known Kenyan designers like Ogake, if I can mention their name, Peggy, you know, Peggy Onyango, they're doing very well right now because then they can design something that is bespoke just for you. Yeah, so that is one of the biggest things that really in the market. So I think it would be irresponsible if I don't mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Catherine, I know that at the fair, because I have been to some, and probably a highlight which you may want to attend this fair for is there's lots of free cake.
Yes.
Lots of free cake. So let's talk about, because there are various elements of putting together a wedding. There's the dress, there's the food, the catering, there's the decor. So again, what are the trends in these areas?
Well, the biggest trends in terms of catering right now, let me talk about catering, is food. People are going way much more in terms of the way the food is even put on the plate. So a lot of people want the plated service.
So presentation is key.
Presentation. And they're also, even if it's a buffet, they're paying a lot of attention in terms of the food area. It's very, very well done, as good as the table itself. Plus, you know, people are also going for, you know, a fruit bar, because we have so many fruits. Right. So they're putting up a fruit bar.
So it's a wider menu.
It's a wider menu.
Your mokimo, your pilau.
Yeah, people are paying a lot of attention now. In fact, you know, because we produce a lot of shows, and sometimes we want to know this wedding, in what standard is it falling in. We never ask where you bought the dress, because the bride is going to spend a lot of money on her dress. Like, you can all starve and go home after the wedding. But now, if you want to know how the wedding is going to be, we normally ask now, how much are you spending per plate, per person? So the expenditure on the plate per person is actually going up. The wedding cake also, there's lots of varieties. Now, rather than just having one flavor, like the fruit cake, people are going further, having maybe the vanilla, chocolate, different layers, such that people can really enjoy. And the fresh cake also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then if we can talk about a very specialized end of the wedding industry, luxury weddings. Yes. Because you know that over the years, Kenya has increasingly had a bigger appetite for this type of weddings.
Yes. Yes, increasingly there are many luxury weddings actually happening. And who are the people having luxury weddings? These are people who've worked very hard, corporates, people who worked in the corporate, business people, young people who didn't have money initially. Yes. Increasingly, we are seeing a lot of people who've been living together, and now the time have come, they've saved the money, and they're spending money on the wedding. Wow. Now, at this time, they're inviting their colleagues, their clients, and money is not an issue. Yeah. So, of course, there's a lot of detailing, there's a lot of paying attention to the food and to the entire experience. From the time you experience the card, they want you to have this a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You anticipate to go to this wedding, you arrive. That arrival in itself, the food experience, the activity that's going on, the ambience, every detail is paid attention to, including whatever drinks that are going to be served. There's a lot of detail that is paid to that, plus the honeymoon.
And of course, an area that cannot be overlooked. Tim, do you have pictures of your wedding? If I came to your house tomorrow for lunch, would I find your wedding photos and video ready to play on the table, coffee table?
Of course. Yeah? I walk around with my wedding video. It's somewhere in my computer, just stashed it there. But the question I want to ask Rachel here is, not just on this dress, it's also on luxury. She's talked about luxury weddings, and there is destination weddings. Do you think this would be a dress worth wearing at the beach, or do you have something specialized for this, for the beach? Let's say a beach wedding.
Yes, a beach wedding. As you can see, this one is a cathedral gown.
Cathedral gown.
So, as you know, in the coast, it's very humid and hot. So I would recommend something lightweight rather than this. This one is actually 5 to 6 kg, this gown.
6 kilograms.
So walking in this gown in Mombasa would be hectic.
Will be
Yeah.
hectic, yeah. But you see, there are those bridezillas, for lack of a better word. I've just been Googling something here and I came up with a word like bridezilla. They would insist on having such a thing. So you would be the best person to advise them on what to wear to the beach,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Good.
But at the end of the day, the bride will wear whatever she wants. Yeah, and actually I've seen a lot of Kenyan brides.
Insist.
They don't actually think about it. In fact, I see very many.
This is what they wear to the
They would
beach.
wear this to the beach.
Because that's my dream. That's what is
But
in
if
my
that's
head.
what you want, you go ahead. But she is the expert and she's saying this thing is 5 kilos.
Yeah.
And you'll sweat and sweat and sweat. But anyway, talking of destination weddings, you know the SGR, just having lunch.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So it has made it so easy for going to Mombasa
coast,
and having
yes.
the coast and having the wedding there. And soon there's going to be connections. It's going to Naivasha and all that. It's going to make it so easy. So there's absolutely no reason why we should just do tradition. We should be more creative and explore Kenya and enjoy the country.
And speaking of destinations, because, you know, after the wedding comes the honeymoon. So what are some of those destinations that Kenyans seem to be favoring in terms of honeymoon destinations?
You know, there's the dream. You know, we normally do, there's a time we did a survey. Every year we normally do at the entrance. And we ask the clients, the couples coming in, what's your dream destination? If money was no issue. Of course, places like Italy, Paris, really come up tops. Mauritius, Seychelles is a dream destination for very many people. South Africa, because of the shopping, and Dubai. These are the top dream destinations. As far as Kenya is concerned, there's a couple of people. What you have to understand is that for a lot of the luxury weddings that are happening, there are very many luxury places within Kenya where people actually go to. They want to go to those hidden places that nobody will actually find them.
Give us an example.
For example, in Turkana,
A lot of private lodges are
private, yes, private lodges that nobody will actually find them. You have to know these are the people who flock into Mombasa when you have your April holidays, you have your the Easter holidays, you have your Christmas holidays, during the school holidays, like August is coming. So a lot of them will be there. But for people with a middle range income, Kenya is still a very top wedding destination. But I also want to mention, not wedding, honeymoon destination. Yes. I also want to mention something else, a trend that I've been seeing, especially weddings that are happening elsewhere other than Nairobi. Nairobi is also a honeymoon destination.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yes, a honeymoon destination where people are coming into the city for the first time. Yeah? And somebody is guiding them. Now there's the parliament, that is KICC.
And then there are very many good hotels, luxury hotels as well.
Yes, within Nairobi. And there's also the people who go to the Attorney General, or you just got married and you don't have time to go away, maybe because of work obligations. Within Nairobi, you can find a couple of hotels where you just go and you seem like, okay, you don't leave the city, but you're in your own world.
Catherine, can I get your comment on something? Because, you know, like, is it last week or 2 weeks ago, the government made it legal now that they do not recognize customary marriages. You must have a marriage certificate. You just mentioned the age is going to the age to get married. So being in the wedding industry, are you now having couples saying, hey, can we just do like a small gathering since now we have to make it official?
You know, that opens up a bigger market. And you know what I believe? Every woman deserves to wear a white wedding dress. There are very many women who want to wear a white wedding dress. Now, you can wear your white wedding dress to your traditional
wedding.
And maybe you're going to sign the affidavit. You create in your garden, create something really nice, or in whatever garden, bring the lawyer who is going to be signing. You can walk down the aisle. I know when it comes to Christians, they'll only marry you if you're doing the monogamy. So let me clarify that. You know, when you're getting married, you have a choice. You can either marry under monogamy, and when you get into that contract, you cannot enter into another contract once you've signed a monogamy contract. But also there's provision of the traditional marriage, where you sign the affidavit and you can marry as many as you want to marry. And thing is, I really have to applaud in terms of the government, because there are very many women who are disenfranchised, especially when there's a situation where unfortunately maybe the husband is no more. And these women were married under the traditional marriage. They are disinherited, they are all those things. So people have to look at it at that. As
so there's some form of security being offered.
Yes, that marriage certificate is actually offering women security. So if you don't register your marriage, then you're deemed as not married. So even if it's a traditional marriage, you can wear your white wedding dress, go to the AG and have your reception.
Oh.
Yeah, yes, and that is opening up a very new, it's not just business. People will just think like that. Yeah, it's opening up the market for us, a wider market to market to.
Right, yes. And I know that at the fair you always have some yummy giveaways. So what are you giving away this year?
We have honeymoon giveaways. So
if I went, I could win a honeymoon?
You could actually win a honeymoon. We have wedding dresses to win, we have cakes, we have many things actually to win.
Right, Tim, are you one of those people who always say, I don't win anything? Me, I usually win things. If I enter a raffle, I win things.
So
would that be fair, since she's my friend? Maybe we can leave it for them. So I promise I will not participate.
But we have tickets we are giving.
Oh yeah, tickets you're giving. Right. Are you giving away this wedding dress?
If you ask it to be given away, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so wow. Okay.
So you need to get at us and Rachel from Couture, and that wedding dress right there might just be up for grabs. But what you have to do is make sure that you show up at the Sarit Center for the Samantha's Bridal Wedding Fair. This is their 15th edition. As you've had, lots of giveaways for you: honeymoons, dresses, cakes as well. You know, just photography sessions as well.
Yeah, what else? Are you accessorizing this dress?
Mm-hmm.
You accessorize it as well. Just a quick one before we wind up. What sort of accessories do you have for dresses such as this?
Anything that's related to wedding gowns, like veils, like hairpiece, jewelry sets, anything you can think of.
Okay. One last question, and I'm getting this from my directors. How much would this one cost me? One of my directors planning to get married, so someone's asking for this dress.
Yeah. Come to the expo, you will know.
Come to the expo, you will know.
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's such a nice answer. Yes, come to the expo.
Okay, good. So find your way and time to the expo, and you'll definitely get all the answers, some of which we've not, some of the questions that we didn't ask you, you'll definitely get them answered right there. This is New Day